According to my scientific research, it's Tuesday. Tuesday. I already know you like me too damn right. Ooh, you're making me Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Don't you ever worry about Tuesday, because Tuesday gonna be alright, dog. Don't you ever worry about Tuesday, because Tuesday gonna be alright, dog. It's gonna be alright. And that's on Tuesday, dog, yeah. Tuesday, sucker.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Tuesday, sucker, February 27th, 2024. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside of me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Yeah, and the NBA season's just getting weirder and weirder. It feels that way, right?
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to March, things just get real weird.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey, yo.
And last but not least, over yonder, picking all these weird clips, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. Shout out to everyone joining us live. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment away there with the stream team, and podcast listeners, leave us a 5-star rating and review. On today's show, we're going to check the polls.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to see how you voted when it came to the Clippers rebrand, All-Star Weekend locations, the MVP frontrunner, and a whole lot more. That's check the polls later on. But first, it's a pizza party up in here. I feel like Jeff Probst. Let's bring in the pizza. Yeah. Let's bring in the champagne. What do you got?
I got frozen pizza bagels.
Oh, bagel bites.
Which haven't been prepared.
In the morning, pizza in the evening?
Let's eat them raw.
Baby,
Let's do it.
No, we're not doing
Come
it.
on.
No, we're not doing it. Unless we need a good show.
Bite.
Okay. We'll eat
like
some
Ray
at the end.
Yakovich.
All right.
We have a good show.
So we can eat bagel bites?
Yeah. 3 good segments, just like 3 good games for the Raptors.
Yeah, pizza party time because the Raptors won 3 games in a row. Scottie Barnes helping the Raps beat the Pacers 130 to 122. Okay, yes, we're going to advertise the bagel bites here. Tess, your takeaways from the Raptors stringing together 3 consecutive wins here.
Well, I got to say, watching the Raptors is pretty fun. Going into the All-Star break, I talked about feeling good about this team and that it almost feels like the beginning of their season again because they've had so many changes the first half. Just the fact that they can get together. They actually had a practice at Butler University in Indiana, and things have looked pretty different. Everything goes through Scottie Barnes, that's for sure. But I just love the fact that they share the ball. You look at the field goal distribution, all the shots from their starters. Yeah, Scottie led with 18, but Barrett and Quickly had 16. The other 2 had double digits in that. The plays go through Barnes, but he's not trying to take over every single possession. The passes go through him. 21, 12, and 12 plus 5 blocks. That's a 4x5. He's coming for you, Wemby. He's coming for a 5x5.
4x5, yeah, nice.
The 5 blocks were amazing. RJ Barrett looked amazing. He was on the bench. Darko Rajakovic came up to him, talked to him, shook his hand while he was sitting on the bench, just because this does feel like a team. Then you saw the bench come out. We talked about it last night while we were watching. Trey brought up, are they going to be called the Bench Broskies again? Because they look like a team going through Kelly Olynyk with 5 assists, finding Ochai Agbaji on these back cuts all over the place.
And Grady Dick, he was working well with him.
Grady was flying around for open threes, a ridiculous 18 points on 9 shots. They had 35 assists, to 27 assists. Fast breaks, beating the Pacers. This just feels like a team. It just feels like a team 1 through 10, a totally different team than the first half where everybody sort of knows their role. They're coming for you, Hawks. They're coming for that play-in tournament spot. They are. The way they've been rolling through these last 3 games. I mean, they handled the Pacers with the fast breaks, and they handled the Hawks as well. They hammered the Nets. They just know who they are. I thought it would have been a blowout other than Benedict Mathurin.
Oh, yeah, he couldn't miss.
No.
Could not miss.
He was hitting some insane shots,
awesome.
like 2 guys draped all over him.
Yes.
Kept him in it, you're right. Otherwise, it probably would have been a blowout.
He's coming for the Canada shooting guard spot, as Trey said. Maybe Jamal Murray might be hurt. So Benny up against RJ there. That was fun. That was just a really fun game. Pizza for everybody.
Pacers games are generally fun. That's the one thing when you're playing Indiana. It's going to be up and down, a lot of scoring. But, you were on playback with Tass. Your takeaways from the Raps or what you saw in this one?
It was all about the ball movement for the Raptors. 35 assists on 53 makes. Kelly Olynyk was diamond up with the second unit. Sorry, I said eunuch because Grady Dick is on my mind. They were calling it the Olin-Dick connection on playback last night. You had Jack Armstrong yelling, "Dick, splash, hello!" We were rolling, but weird Halliburton game. Zero aggression from this guy, I thought. 1 make, 2 assists in the second half. And watching that game, all I was left with was thinking the Pacers should have never traded Buddy Hield. Why? 21st in three-point attempts since the trade, 13th prior. They were 15th and they're 15th in fast break points since the trade. They were 7th prior. You mentioned you're always flying around in a Pacers game. They don't feel like the same Pacers to me now that Buddy Hield isn't there and Siakam has moved into a secondary scoring role for this team. They just feel like a normal NBA team. And the thing that made this Pacers special to me in the first half of the season was they played at a pace and a style of game that's different than a lot of teams in the NBA. They don't have that right now because Benedict Mathurin did have an awesome game, 34 points on 15 shots, incredible, but he's not the same quick trigger kind of guy as Buddy Hield is. Obviously, Nembhard isn't the offensive player that Buddy Hield is either. They tried to balance their team a little bit, bringing in defense, trying to replace Buddy Hield with Doug McDermott, which has not worked yet. So, I don't know. It just feels weird to me that they gave him up for a second-round pick in the draft this year, 2024, which is not a widely hailed draft, but they got a second-round pick, and then one in 2029. They could have just left him. They could have just played out the season with Buddy Hield, and I think they would have been better off for it.
That's an interesting point. I will give some credit to Gary Trent Jr. These last 2 games, he did a good job when he was matched up on Trae Young, trying to slow him down. A lot of those possessions last night on Halliburton, though Halliburton was in a bit of a funk. But Gary Trent Jr., if he's out there, if he's starting, he has to give you a little defensive backbone. And we know he can rack up the steals. He's always been good at that, but I thought he's been really solid. The Raptors starting 5, this is from Eric Kareen at The Athletic. Trent, Barnes, Quickly, RJ Barrett, and Pirtle. They were a +6 in about 18 minutes last night. You know, Pirtle had to leave because of an ankle injury. Hopefully that's nothing too serious. He missed a lot of games, I think 11 games in January with that ankle injury. But overall, that lineup, Tess, and I know you've been talking about keep your eyes on Quickly here moving forward, keep your eyes on this unit, +42 in 135 minutes over the last 8 games. So that starting 5 is showing you something here, again, over these last little stretch. We'll just see whether or not Pirtle's out for a significant amount of time because it was a weird fluke sort of rolling of the ankle and just re-aggravating that left ankle there. So that part sucked. I thought I jinxed the hell out of the pizza party. I was tweeting, oh my God, Teenage Mutant Jakob Poeltl is going to deliver them pizza. It's too perfect. And then he went out like immediately after I tweeted. I was like, oh my God, what have I done? But everybody else stepping up. Like you said, the second unit, Grady Dick is starting to figure out the NBA, which is also a big thing for Raptors fans. Like, oh, okay, here we go. He started to figure out the pace of it, how physical it is, spacing, especially with a stretch 5 like Kelly. That works, I think, with him because he will cut back door. He obviously is a threat to shoot and was knocking down threes. So that's encouraging as well. Not just Quickly in his growth alongside Scottie Barnes, but maybe they got a player here in Grady Dick, a piece moving forward.
Absolutely. He is an interesting guy in that everybody was wondering what's happening to this guy. At the beginning of the season, he went to the G League, and you can see how NBA teams really rely now on their G League experience. Yeah, he just looks like a new player. Yeah, running around while Kelly hangs out at the elbow. Ochai Agbaji, Kelly's former teammate in Utah, doing the same thing in those. All those lineups just look really good right now. Although Kelly was getting hit on the defensive end, I just wondered if they were going to keep him going forward because he's a little bit older. He's going to be 33 when the playoffs start, when the Raptors will be playing in the playoffs, perhaps. But yeah, they just look great. I really wonder if they did go for a little pizza dinner.
In Indiana? I don't think so. They got a 4-game homestand here. I'm sure they got on the first flight they could get the hell out of there. To get home. I think the pizza party will be happening in Toronto.
Probably some great places.
Maybe there were some pies on the plane. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Would that count? I wouldn't count that. You said you're taking us out for dinner.
That's right. You got to go out.
Right.
Libretto? You think that's where they're going? Tironi, maybe?
Maybe possible. These are all in play.
Darko said, I'm going to take you to a nice place, a nice dinner once we win 3 games in a row. And the players were like, nah, let's just go for pizza. That's what he said after the game.
They're humble guys, he said. Yeah. They'll just have pizza. He was asked, and I want to get your opinion. I'm sure we've done it like probably 1,000 episodes ago. JD chime in as well. They asked Darko, pineapple on a pizza? adamantly, no, right away. He is not a pineapple on pizza type of guy. Are you, Tasmela?
I'm a pineapple guy because I try it all. I try it all. I've done it all. He just does margaritas.
Yeah,
that's
right.
what he said.
Yep.
He does traditional Italian pizzas, and that's why I brought mini bagel margaritas. Essentially, it's just sauce and cheese. This is for you, Darko, but I like it all.
Margaritas.
Okay, Trey Kirby, pineapple on a pizza.
I'm up.
Thumbs up. Okay, two for
yeah.
2. And JD.
Hot, up for sure.
Okay, well,
Sweet and salty.
So am
Come
I.
on. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I can't believe nobody's down.
Yeah.
Get the poll going on YouTube. Pineapple on a pizza. All right, Raps did it. See if they can extend it to 4. I think they play the Mavericks there on Wednesday night at home.
And the Pacers just beat the Mavs. They looked good in that one. But it is true that Halliburton looked like a different guy. They need Nesmith back. But at the same time, we just saw great plays, great blocks in this game over and over. RJ Barrett, great finishes. Obviously, Benedict Mathurin, great finishes. It looks great to see Ochai Agbaji making great cuts and three-point shots. Just stacked lineups, it felt like out there.
It was a fun game. Let's move to the controversial ending in Madison Square Garden. Josh Hart makes the go-ahead basket after a very chaotic final possession as the Knicks beat the Pistons 113-111. Let's start with there, and obviously Monty Williams had a lot to say, blasting the officiating, saying it was the absolute worst call of the season. Do you agree with Monty with what went on there at the end of this game?
Should have been a foul.
Really?
Big hit by DiVincenzo.
You laid him out.
Yeah. Hit stick there on the corner. But also, the Pistons should have secured the ball. They had 3 chances at it. Grimes had it in the corner, goes flying out of bounds, chucks it to the middle of the floor. Great catch by Fontecchio.
They saved that.
Rising up in the crowd like Randy Moss. He comes down and then decides to pass it as well. Could have just held onto it and got fouled. And then Sir Thompson, he catches the ball. Tries to dribble up court.
Yeah.
Just catch it and stand there.
Yeah.
Go shoot some free throws. So, yes, bad call. The referees admitted it right afterwards. They said should have been a loose ball foul, but also it should have just hold on to it. Just stay there. But they're freaking out, man. They don't win a lot of games, so they didn't know what to do when they had a chance to win the game.
It's true.
Yeah, I watched it a million times wondering, is it a foul? Because Sar Thompson doesn't have the ball anymore. It's like he's trying to push a dribble way up the floor.
For sure.
And so the ball is kind of loose, and DiVincenzo dives on it, and
But
there
he
is a huge
smokes him.
collision.
He smashes it.
There was.
It's crazy the ball stayed in bounds to me. Like, it just, Jalen just picks it up. He's like, oh, fumble.
Yeah. That's what Williams must have been watching. James Williams was the ref right there. Like, literally right there.
Yeah.
And you're right. Thompson bobbles the ball. DiVincenzo gets his hand on it, and it's all happening right near the sideline. The ball is somehow just bouncing and staying in bounds. So that's clearly what the ref is looking at because he missed the body-to-body blow.
Yeah.
And it sucks for Sar Thompson, who had a huge three with 2 minutes left to get this game closer, and then Quentin Grimes with a great finish, wild finish, as he crossed through the lane, was able to put it back over his left shoulder. Didn't look like that was going down. He had 14 points in the fourth quarter against his old team. Mm-hmm. Cool for him. Good for the Pistons that they lose, because it seems like some odd rotation still for Monty Williams, I think, coming off the bench. But also, they probably just want to lose as many games as possible.
Why?
I mean, what does it matter?
They're good with the odds.
They're going to have the same odds.
They're going to be bottom 4 regardless.
Yeah.
This bottom 3, exactly the same odds, I guess, with the other 2 teams. That's a fair point. Fair point.
And they still do not want to have the
possible.
worst record in NBA history in an 82-game season.
Yeah.
I know it's very unlikely, but it's still technically in play, right?
Yeah.
With only 8.
It's true. With the worst record currently in the NBA, this team is going to be difficult to catch too many teams, even though they come pretty darn close every single game, especially because Cade Cunningham is playing as a new guy.
He missed.
He didn't score in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and you could tell he was so frustrated because he got good looks. He just could not hit them. And he was like, oh my God. Like, he had fine jumpers, creating space, had another one in the lane, just couldn't get it to go, like, down the stretch there when it was close. But man, that final possession where we showed it to you there, like, it was just, how many times the Pistons had it and then didn't have it, and then how, like, Hart also hits a big layup over Duren, he gets called for the foul, but that's a big dude at the rim, and Hart gets it to drop. then misses the free throw and gets the rebound on the free throw at the end of this game.
What a bad pass by DiVincenzo.
Yeah, I know. Who otherwise had a really good game. Yeah, like look at this. Damn good finish there from Hart.
Hart was hooping.
To add insult to injury, last night's game was initially supposed to be in Detroit, but the NBA moved it to New York so the Knicks could have an equal number of home and road games after a run to the in-season tournament unbalanced their schedule. You remember that? Oh. We talked about it at the time. So the Pistons end up playing 42 road games and 40 home games, and this was the extra road game Monday night in Madison Square Garden, and they lose like that, where, it should have been called a foul.
Would you rather lose like that or Paolo Banchero hitting a almost travel game winner?
Yeah, that's back-to-back heartbreakers there for a team trying to win anything. Good question. Well, then you have Knicks fans going, well, look, basketball gods, man, evening it out, because just before the All-Star break, the Knicks lost to the Rockets on a foul call officials admitted was incorrect. That one where Jalen Brunson, they said, should not have been called for a foul on the three-point shooter at the final buzzer there. That should have gone to overtime, right? They did the whole protest and all that. Nothing came of it. I think we're still waiting to find out the results on that from the actual league.
Technically we are.
Yeah. So that's what some people say, oh, the basketball gods evening it out. But Pistons fans are not saying that right now.
Sure.
No, they're getting dumped on a little bit. Monty Williams, great post-game press conference, and also a great way to get out of a press conference. He only talked for 1 minute, took no questions. He's like, I'm out of here.
Oh, yeah?
Think about Mike Brown. Like, this guy brought a laptop up.
Yeah.
Think about Darko Rajakovic. He went in on refs. Monty was just like, this sucks. See ya. And Pistons fans were loving it because it's like the first time he stuck up for his team.
Yeah, finally showed a little emotion there. You're right. So, well, let's hear from you guys on that play. Heartbreaking loss there for the Pistons, and Knicks pull it out. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it won't really matter all that much, this game between the Knicks and Pistons here in late February. But for the Knicks, in the win-loss record, it could be a difference between between home court advantage, for crying out loud. So they get this one after that ending against the Rockets that maybe was taken away from them.
We didn't get to see our man Turtle, Jerry Ferrara, who was sitting courtside. I don't know where that turtle went to. Where did he crawl off to?
In his shell.
Back in his shell.
We were looking for Turtle the whole game, man.
Yeah, what was that?
Never
But you knew he was there, or you just were? Oh, okay.
He was sitting with Trayvon Edwards.
Oh,
courtside.
Okay.
He was there.
But you just never could see him?
We just never caught the perfect moment. I mean, we were more locked in on the pizza party matchup. But we just missed the turtle sightings.
Okay.
Yeah. He was in Celebrity Row.
Okay.
They're stocked in New York with their Celebrity Row. Turtle, then Martha Stewart the previous game.
Wow.
Up against the Boston Celtics. What a weird game. I thought, you're right, the Knicks just need their guys back, as you said. OG Anunoby and Julius Randle. But Cade is starting to look awesome. He had 32 in this game, 10 of 19 from the floor. And I think, even though he was finishing at the rim and he went to the free throw line, I think Monty may have been upset about that too, because there were a lot of calls that the refs did not make.
Yeah, Tibbs even said that. He's like, it was a physical game. They were sort of letting them play, and it was getting a little wild there till that final possession. Moving on, shorthanded Heat beat the Kings 121-110 for their fourth straight victory. Heat 6-1 in their last 7, 8-2 in their last 10. They've moved up, I believe, to 6th in the Eastern Conference after the Pacers lost to the Raps. And here they are, Tess, missing a bunch of guys. 3 starters out, either because of injury or suspension. No Jimmy Butler. Their 30th different starting lineup in 57 games, the Miami Heat. And what happens? They go and take care of business and beat the Sacramento Kings, who we had just talked up on yesterday's show. But anyway, the Heat, man, this is the Heat culture, the epitome of Heat culture. Next guy up, doesn't matter, you're in, let's go.
It is astonishing when you look at all the guys out in Butler, Hero, Rozier out as starters, and then a bunch of bench guys out with Jovic, Josh Richardson, Thomas Bryant. That's a lot of dudes. They played 7 guys essentially, plus 2 two-way guys out there that got a few minutes in there, but your man DeLon Wright was out there.
He was amazing.
And the starting lineup, yeah, he was awesome. I just watched these Jaime Jaquez 2 makes at the end. Those were awesome. Beautiful turnaround.
He was cooking.
He was great. Yeah, he just stopped one-on-one. Kevin Huerter, all right, I'll do this turnaround. Beautiful move. And then the Sabonis one was so cool with the ball fake and then able to go, all right, step through and be able to score. It did look like Kobe a little bit, that step through. Jaime Jaquez is not Kobe, but it is that same move, that step through.
Yeah.
Anyways,
he's got the footwork.
Look, he looks great.
Yeah,
he looks great.
I mean, Bam outplayed, or at least played Sabonis sort of to a draw. I think he actually outplayed him last night. And then everybody else contributing. Highsmith 15. I think all come in there in the first half, but helping out off the bench, that was very limited. But yeah, I saw you sharing some Jaquez Jr. clips. That guy, just like a grizzled vet, this guy who's somehow a rook. But he was awesome.
He's an old rookie.
He is an old rookie.
Yes.
But he plays, you say Kobe, I think he plays exactly like Jimmy Butler. His spin moves, his footwork in the lane, how he attacks smaller guys in mismatches, which is kind of like Jimmy's out. Jaquez, you're getting the exact same touches that he got. 12 for 17 from the field in this one. He was just making incredible plays the entire night. Miami won the bench battle 34-17, and they only had 2 guys score.
Wow.
19 for Kevin Love, 15 for Haywood Highsmith. They hit 5 threes between them, and Miami was just playing downhill the entire night, I thought. 60 points in the paint. They took 25 free throws. And you mentioned DeLon Wright. He was in the lane the entire night. 5 assists and 0 turnovers. Duncan Robinson had 11 assists.
I thought that was a typo when I saw that. I was like, no way, that's right.
That's crazy. I mean, they obviously want to take away the 3 from him, but when the Heat are shorthanded, they're even more committed to their ball movement system. And they'll make the right pass every single time. And that's what Duncan Robinson was doing. So an incredible win, I thought, for Miami to pull this one out. Bam was special, especially in the first half. And then Jaquez, I thought, kind of closed the door.
Yeah. Weird line from Duncan Robinson. In 39 minutes, so he played a ton because they were shorthanded, he only had 4 points. He shot 1 of 11, went 0 for 6 from deep, but then he had 11 assists, 4 boards, chipped in a steal, and he was a plus 25. He was the best plus-minus in the game last night. So just a weird line from him.
It looked like him as that point guard running those Bam pick and rolls to start the game. Even though DeLon Wright is in the starting lineup, they don't play traditional basketball where it's just like, hey, you bring it up, buddy. All 5 guys touch the ball. It goes through everybody. That's Heat culture, baby. And especially, the Bam stealing from Domantas Sabonis was awesome from behind late in that game. Sabonis did have his 20th triple-double this season. That's a lot. That's a lot of triple-doubles. He's just cooking. Keegan Murray, somehow, he's been rolling. 33 the last time they played the Heat, and 28 in this one. I don't know how he does it, but he just scores a lot against the Miami Heat. Listen, I don't want to get on this soapbox again, but back-to-backs stink. I mean, they do stink. This game for the Kings here, after a great win against the Clippers, same thing happened to the Pacers. Great win against the Mavs, and they go against the Raps. Somebody's got to get rid of them. Somebody. It'll happen one day. It'll happen one day. A long time from now. Not today. Not this year. Not next year. Not the year after. But one day, I think it will happen.
You think one day we'll be sitting here going, thank God they got rid of back-to-backs.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, we'll throw a pizza party the day that happens. I'll tell you that.
We'll watch better basketball, I think, because of it.
Final game from last night. We don't need to spend a lot of time on it, but the Nets beat the Grizzlies 111-86. Interim head coaches Kevin Ollie's first win. So he got it done there. They took care of business. The Grizzlies, obviously missing 1 million guys still. They were out of sync from the start. They had 18 points in the first quarter. They were down 27 in the first half. They're down big at half. Do you have any notes from this one?
Derrick Rose and Ben Simmons both played. There you go. That's crazy.
That is a little wild.
Who do you think's played more games this season?
Probably Derrick Rose.
D-Rose?
Yeah, 23 games, 15 for Simmons. But Simmons came off the bench. That's why the Nets won. Brooklyn was just a little bit more grindy. They played their best offensive players a lot, and they finally scored over 100 points. Nice how that works.
Yeah.
Neither of these teams were on a back-to-back, though, and this game still sucked.
That's a good point.
You could have sat courtside for less than $200, and it still would have left you disappointed.
Wow, that's it.
Yes.
Wow, I mean, yeah, you're right. You didn't get a great game there, but
Yes.
You think courtside, like, feet on wood?
I'm just referencing a Keith Parrish at Fast Break Breakfast tweet, a big Grizzlies fan, who said you could sit courtside for under $200. Lower bowl tickets, $42.
It's not a far drive. We should maybe consider doing it.
Yeah, we did.
We would have been furious driving home from that game. Well, we would have left early.
We would have got a speeding
when
ticket.
When it was a 30-point game, we would have left.
Yeah, probably.
I thought this was a great quote from Nets Daily, a blog recapping the game. The Brooklyn Nets made the Memphis Grizzlies look like the Brooklyn Nets tonight.
Ooh, wow. Yeah. I will say my only note was I thought Nick Claxton looked awesome against Jaren Jackson Jr. Every clip I saw, he was owning him. So good game from him.
Yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr. didn't do much last night.
No.
There was 2 baseline out of bounds plays with like less than 2 seconds left on the clock where the Grizzlies just didn't cover a guy under the rim. This was an ugly game. This was a terrible game.
It was a terrible game.
They got how many more games still to play here as they see this one out? A season from hell for the Memphis Grizzlies, who somehow have 20 wins. 7-22 at home, Memphis. No wonder those tickets are $200 to sit courtside. They're not winning a lot at home. They got more wins on the road.
Yes. Yeah, missing so many of their guys in Morant, Bane, and Smart obviously hurts them. It was weird to see pregame how they were just dancing. When I tuned in just to see their pregame intros, it was just Triple J just dancing. Everybody grooving with the dance when they should think about the basketball that's to be played. I do think Ben Simmons coming off the bench is good for them. It's true, especially because Nick Claxton's not a shooter. So Ben Simmons playing with him just means you got 2 non-shooters. So I think it does make more sense to him come off the bench.
Hey, if you're
now
making
Kevin Ollie
a trip over to Ben Simmons Island, bring some bagel bites, baby. We're starving over here. Are you coming?
Yeah. Well, it's coming off the bench, so I'm not saying start him, play him.
No.
But Kevin Ollie's being smart here. New coach, bringing him off the bench. Just the lineups make more sense.
Okay.
So we will be seeing that, and Schroeder will be starting.
They got to win. Good stuff there from Brooklyn. We got to take a break. Very quick break. When we come back, we're going to check the polls. Don't go anywhere.
I recently got to travel for the NBA All-Star Game, and that's part of everything I do for my fam. Adventures and eating at restaurants. We did that. Those are the fun times for the family. I'm still thinking about that heavy horseradish, spicy shrimp we had. I can still taste it. It's still within the roof of my mouth. The things we built our future for are the things worth protecting. Making an estate plan now means gaining security of your assets and peace of mind for you and your loved ones. With Trust and Will, you can create and manage a custom estate plan starting at just $199. Having peace of mind that your assets and wishes are secure is just as tasty as that shrimp. Trust and Will's website is simple and the process is straightforward. I'm mainly thinking about food. A will is always the last thing on my mind, but we all need one. You can secure your assets and protect your loved ones with Trust and Will. Trust and Will is used by hundreds of thousands of families and counting. Get 10% off plus free shipping of your estate plan documents by visiting trustandwill.com/nodunks. That's 10% off and free shipping at trustandwill.com/nodunks.
All right, still here in the Classic Factory. I believe we've given it about 15, 16 minutes. Are you a fan of pineapple on a pizza? We asked the stream team, TK, and you have the results.
59% of people say yes.
Wow.
They're loving it.
Okay, I'm a little surprised by those results.
Yeah.
I'm happy, but surprised.
I guess I would have thought it'd be like 50-50.
Yeah.
I mean, not too different, but I thought we would have more haters.
Okay, that's true. That's
Pineapple
true.
haters.
All right, well, that's got us in the mood here because we're actually going to really check the polls. Yeah. We posted a bunch of polls on our Twitter, on our X yesterday at No Dunks Inc. Some of these got thousands of votes, some a little less, but a still solid turnout to the polls when it comes to No Dunks. And the first one, before we get to the results, yesterday, we teased it, the Clippers unveiled their brand new look, establishing a set of marks that blend the team's past, present, and focus on the future. We got the new colorways here, naval blue, ember red, Pacific blue. So we got the unis that we're showing you here.
Pacific Blue.
That's what they said.
Isn't that a TV show?
That's what they said, man.
Isn't that like Mario Lopez as a cop or something like that?
It sounds like it. We've got a new logo. You like boats? Take a look at that. You like compasses? Take a look at that. And they'll also have a new court when they get into the Intuit Dome. So we've shown you all here on YouTube the jerseys and the logo and the court. Before we get to the results, I'd love to hear your opinions, how you voted in this, because we asked for grades, A, B, C, or F, really. Tass, overall on the Clippers rebrand, what would you grade it?
I was debating between an A and a B.
Okay.
Because it's definitely solid, and I think that's where it lands. I'm a solid man.
Okay.
I just like how simple it is, and it's obviously trying to differentiate itself between the recent tries. They've done a lot of recent things, right, where it's been a bit odd. They've gone extremely simple, very simple, and they're trying to delineate themselves between them and the Lakers as well. Like, let's get a new dome here. The fans will be going nuts and gone really, really simple. I like the red for sure. I like the blue. The whites are really, really super simple. That's fine. That's fine. I'd rather go simple than elaborate.
So you're a fan of the jerseys, it sounds like.
Yeah, and looking at the boat, of course.
Oh, you like the logo?
Well,
I hate the logo. I think the logo looks stupid. I think the jerseys look awesome. The colorways look cool. Though some people are saying, maybe go a little orange or maybe the San Diego light blue. But otherwise, that looks fine. But I'm not a fan of the boat logo. But what do you think, TK?
I was a B+. I voted B on this.
Okay.
I think I'm like a massive upgrade. The Clippers had some of the worst uniforms in the league and probably the worst logo in the league.
Yeah, that's true.
It's definitely up there. So this is a huge, huge upgrade. I would have rather gone with baby blue than navy blue. Like, we don't need another navy blue and red team out there. They're looking like the Philadelphia 76ers a little bit. I actually liked their old font a little better when it was a little bit more elaborate. I think we've had enough minimalism from jersey looks, but that's just the way it is right now. We're just ready for a new design era. I would love to see a hand-drawn logo,
Sure. Let's see what the people said. We had 1,000 votes plus for this one, and most of them are agreeing with you guys. 59%, ballpark, solid. Just very solid. About 10% saying incredible, so some huge fans. And then we got 25% with the meh. That's a C grade. And not many people out there saying this is an absolute failure, and I think that's right. To bring up those colors, I know you tweeted this too, Trey. Conrad Burry, who does great design work on Twitter, he tweaked it and decided if you went with the orange and light blue, how it would look. And man, I gotta say, I'm a fan of that. Really like that instead of maybe the red, white, and blue that they ultimately went with. But again, we're nitpicking here. But hey, look, maybe these will be colors that we'll see in a future design down the road. I think those look sharp though.
Yeah, those look good. But I agree with Tess. The red looks awesome, and the red is kind of known as a Clippers jersey from the Chris Paul, Blake Griffin era. Definitely a much needed and solid upgrade.
Yeah, they swung the pendulum pretty hard and going super simple. That's no doubt. What did you want for the logo?
Well,
it's like the name is Clippers, which is a name that it's a boat, and that part is weird itself.
Straight up boat.
Well, yeah, but people, I can't unsee it now. I know a lot of people on Twitter noted that it looks like a Carnival cruise in the crosshairs of an attacker, and sort of I can't unsee that now.
Yeah. And it's going to be taking the place of center court.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a monster.
Yeah,
right in the middle of it.
You're right. It's it is a boat. You gotta get creative, I guess.
Yeah.
And the NBA, they always want these circular logos too. Everybody has to have one of these. So you're put into I was gonna say you're put into a box, but I guess you're put into a circle. No, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it. That to me is why I also voted B. I do love the colors and the looks of the jerseys and everything, but the logo pulled it back from an A for me.
I hear you. I just didn't know where to go with it. I don't know if Steve Ballmer said, "Hey, I'm a Microsoft fan. I'm gonna pull out the clipper, the paper clipper that jumps on your screen." Yeah, Clippy jumps on your screen. Says, "Hey, I got something to say." Well, just in the middle of the floor, just a paper clip. I don't know what to do.
According to ESPN, Ballmer heavily considered changing the team name, but the fan base was violently opposed to ditching the Clippers moniker. I love that, violently opposed, which I like. I think I'm. I don't know if I'm violently opposed, but it is a fun name, Clippers. I'm glad they kept it, but I guess they had looked into changing it
with reason.
Yeah.
But a lot of people learned that a Clipper is a boat.
It's true.
People did not know.
No.
Yeah, I wonder how hard Clippers fans go at this and read all these little what do you call them? Statements about different parts of the boat.
Oh yeah.
The hull of the ship is set off with the seams of a basketball. It's supposed to look like the seams of a basketball.
Yeah, of course.
But it's not round. Anyway,
I do like that the N on Los Angeles is due north on the compass rose.
Yeah.
I love it, Steve.
Do you think when it's on the floor in the Intuit Dome, that will be due north?
It better be.
Yeah.
good question.
Get your compasses out.
They better have built that arena right. We're going to have to tear it down and redo it. All right, so for the most part, people are, they're thumbs up on this. So again, I'm nearly 60% saying, that's solid. Good work there by the Clippers and the Rebrand. All right, next one. The NBA is nearing plans for the Phoenix Suns to host the 2027 All-Star Weekend at the Footprint Center. It will be the third consecutive All-Star Weekend hosted by a Pacific Division team. We got the Warriors hosting in 25. We got the Clippers in their new dome in 26. And then, in theory here, these are reports from Shams, but the Suns are probably going to have it for 2027. They haven't had one since, 2009, back when Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe were winning co-MVPs of that game. But this is interesting. Last week, I don't know if you guys saw this, the Oklahoman, they published 3 sets of league requirements for a city to host an All-Star game. Over 7,000 hotel rooms and at least 3 5-star hotels. You need a giant convention center with like 650,000 square feet and an airport with at least 75 domestic nonstop flights and 20 international flights. Now, the league has pushed back on this a little bit. They're not saying like this is an ironclad rule, but I feel like they veer towards locations, markets that can obviously accompany all this. But 4 markets in the NBA have never had an All-Star weekend. And that was the poll here. Which of these small markets that have never had one should get one? And your choices are Memphis, Oklahoma City, Portland, and Sacramento. How did you guys vote in this before we see the results? If you had to pick between one of those very 4 smaller locations.
Well, I voted for Portland.
Okay.
Because I think they have the most NBA history, having a champion, obviously, and they have the most strip clubs per capita, so it would probably be a desirable location for people coming into town. But I actually wish I would have voted for Memphis because they got the best food and the best weather.
And $200 courtside seats. I don't know about
$200 courtside
game,
seats. I also think it's probably the best chance for players to have fun in Memphis.
Okay. How did you vote?
Great. I was thinking Portland as well.
Okay.
That's where I went. I had no idea about the strip clubs. Strip clubs.
That's Indiana.
That's Indiana. That's all I can think about since we ate shrimp. That horseradish and that shrimp. So every time I say strip, I say shrimp. No, I did vote Portland as well because of their history. Memphis would be fantastic for everybody here. We're so close.
Yeah.
We're so close, and it would be nice. And it would be great for Memphis.
Well, this was an awesome poll. Look how this one is split. I mean, everybody getting over 20%, but Portland leads the way just a shade under 30%, 29.8%. And then Memphis coming in second at 26.8%. You got OKC, Oklahoma City there at 23.4%. Now, of course, Seattle has had All-Star weekends, but Oklahoma City hasn't. And then Sacramento at 20%. So pretty evenly split there.
Yeah.
I did see Sham's report in the Bounce newsletter this morning. Boston and Atlanta are in the mix to host some of the future All-Star weekends. Looking ahead, I know Milwaukee was rumored to be in the running for 27 or 28 too, with their new stadium or new arena. But I don't know about those requirements now. Do they have the convention center space?
I don't think they have the hotels.
Yeah, that's always going to be an issue. All right, next one here. Let's get back to basketball. Who is your 2023-24 NBA MVP right now? Put 4 names on the poll. Let's just go to it, JD. It's Giannis, it's Luka, it's Shea, and Jokic. And Jokic and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander 1-2 right now. Jokic with 44% of the vote. Shea 34.6%. Luka getting about 18%, and then Giannis not many votes. A couple votes there for Giannis. How did? Well, I guess more. What was your takeaway from the results here in the polls?
I wasn't surprised with Giannis' 3.4%, but I am glad he entered the chat because he's one of the best players in the freaking world, but the Bucks just aren't enough of a story. It was interesting to see Jokic just take over. He has taken over the last couple weeks, and this just feels it's based on time. Like 2 weeks ago, it was all Shea. I think the poll would have been Shea Gilgeous-Alexander winning.
You think
this
so?
thing. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. We had the Tim Bontemps ESPN straw poll. It had Jokic in the lead with SGA second, so it's pretty similar probably to this.
That's true.
Timing is everything, though. I'll give you that. How How did you vote, and what did you think of the results?
I voted for Jokic,
Yeah.
and my ballot would have been almost the same. I would have switched Giannis for Luka. I would have had Giannis third, Luka fourth. But it is Jokic for me, and if you're talking about timing, it's tough to beat 3 straight triple-doubles coming out of the
Monstrous
All-Star break.
triple-doubles.
Yeah, the perfect triple-double,
Yeah.
obviously, where he went 10 for 10 against the Wizards, and then against Portland, 29, 15, and 14, and then 32, 16, and 16 against the Warriors. But he missed 11 shots in that one.
Wow.
That was a down game.
Yeah.
Rough.
Might have to knock him
Rough
here.
game.
Were you upset? I guess you weren't because you were happy to see Giannis there, but I went back and forth. I was like, Tatum? Giannis?
Yeah.
Tatum? Giannis? I felt like I had to have Luka in there. He's been gaining some momentum here. So I wanted him, and he nearly got 20% of the vote. But, I went with Giannis over Tatum. And there's now you're starting to see, it feels like the backlash is coming to Tatum being so low in
Yes, it
MVP
is.
rankings with the way the Celtics are pulling away from everybody else in the standings.
I think Giannis has to be higher up, really. He's got to be. He's one of the best players in the game. And just pushing him up over Luka makes a lot of sense. Shea is obviously having a great year, especially defensively, and that's where Giannis comes in. And Jokic is just awesome. Those are the 3 names. The Tatum argument is really, really important to me, too. That's going to be interesting when they clearly have the best record in the NBA, and he's not going to be part of the top 4 or 5 potentially.
Yeah, that is wild, especially if they are I don't know, anywhere between 5 to 10 games clear of the next best team in the league. There's going to be a whole lot of discourse around that.
Yeah, they're going to be the only team to win 60 games. It sure feels like, and that's it's a good benchmark.
Yeah. So besides MVP, which is obviously an entertaining race here, we asked, what's the most interesting award race? I thought this was a different way to go about it. Coach of the Year, Most Improved, Rookie, Sixth Man. Which one intrigues you the most? And I was a little surprised by these results because it was Rookie of the Year coming through with the vote, 38.2%, followed by Most Improved at 28%, and then pretty close there between Coach and Sixth Man. Were you as shocked as I was? I guess I say I was shocked because Wembanyama is going to win Rookie of the Year. Chet has been incredible, and it's a fun that he's even in the conversation. He's been amazing. But I guess maybe that's how I was looking at it. I don't think it's going to be all that close in the end. Maybe I'm wrong. People disagree with me. What do you think, TK?
Well, I think this voting makes complete sense because Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren are the most interesting names that could be in any of these races.
Right.
And the thing that's interesting to me about this race, which is what I voted for, is will it be unanimous for Victor? He's going to have the counting stats. He's obviously been doing things that we haven't ever seen on a basketball court. But Chet's going to have the efficiency stats. He's obviously going to have a better team success. And
yeah.
the guy's hit 1 million clutch shots
Yeah.
this season.
He has.
He has been really, really good. So my guess is that it's not a unanimous sweep for Victor Wembanyama, but I'm with you. He's going to win it. But it also kind of feels like Sixth Man of the Year, not an exciting race now at all. Most Improved Player, also not very exciting. It's probably a guy coming from a 9th seed under 500. And then Coach of the Year. Come on. I mean, come on.
I was surprised it got 18%.
Yeah, exactly.
People are like, yeah, let's talk coaches, baby.
Tyrese Maxey's going to get a lot of votes for Most Improved, though, just because. So, is it the most interesting? No, I guess not.
No.
But I did like the way you went about it. That's true. We've been talking about basketball a long time, but debating which one is most interesting, I think, is a different way to do it. And I was thinking about coaches. Which coach is my favorite to win this thing?
Okay, let's hear it.
I gotta go with Digno, Mark Digno of OKC.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it's just because it's a surprise, and that's how a lot of Coach of the Years win this thing. It's the guy who's shocked the most, and no one expected OKC to be up near the number one seed.
Okay, that's
They're high.
Okay. There was a lot of talk about OKC coming in this year. A lot of promise.
Yeah.
But you're right. They've probably exceeded some expectations.
They have.
What about if the Celtics are, obviously 10 games clear of the next best team?
Joey?
What about Joey Maz?
Yeah, they're up there every year, so I think it hurts Joey Maz. People like voting for the more of the shock value.
No, you're right. You're right.
But I do think these are all interesting. I mentioned Maxey. Kobe White's going to get some votes as Most Improved.
Yep.
Kuminga is going to be there. Şengün's going to be there. Jalen Williams of OKC. There's going to be a lot of guys.
That was the one I ultimately voted for, but you're right,
hate
TK.
Most Improved.
Yeah, well, no, I hate when it goes to, obviously a second or third year player. But I voted for it because I feel like it's the most up in the air. But though now you say Maxey, I guess I forgot about Maxey. He's going to win it.
No, Kobe White's going to win it.
You think so?
Yes.
That's interesting. I don't know.
It's like plus 10 points per game.
Yeah, but Maxey,
It's always fun.
Maxey fits how it's been going most improved. The jump to an All-Star. To a guy that's knocking on All NBA. I mean,
true.
so if that holds true, I think it would maybe go to him. And I agree with you though. Victor will not be unanimous Rookie of the Year winner. I don't think so. But there's still 20 plus games to go. Final one here though, and check the polls. Which East team is most likely to upset the Celtics? I went Bucks, I went Cavs, I went Heat, and then I went other. Yeah, but. Pretty resounding vote here for the Bucks. 42.2% of people said Milwaukee most likely to upset the Celtics in the East. Then the Heat getting 30.5%, and then the Cavs not getting much. And a lot of people are 20% going with other. So you're talking Pacers, you're talking Sixers if Embiid comes back, you're talking Knicks maybe if they get their guys back, and so on. How'd you vote in this one?
Oh, I voted for the Bucks. They're still my finals pick.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm skeptical of the Celtics, I'll be completely honest. Not because of injuries or anything like that, but we've seen this Celtics team do very similar stuff in the playoffs. I remember when they had the best defense in league history, and it didn't really matter when it came to the playoffs because they got ran out of the floor by the Warriors. So I'm still concerned about their fourth quarter decision making. Obviously, it is a different crew around Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum with Porzingis there, Drew Holiday, who has not necessarily covered himself in postseason glory outside of the championship year. Bucks versus Nuggets was my preseason pick, and I'm going to stick with it until one of those teams loses. But since Doc took over for the Bucks, they're 21st in offense, which is weird, but they're 10th in defense. He had two things he needed to figure out coming to Milwaukee. Had to simplify the defense. They cleaned up the transition defense. They were the worst team in the league, giving up fast break points. Now they're one of the 5 best teams in the league. Also had to figure out the Giannis Dame two-man game. They run it all the time, and the team is much more bought into Doc Rivers than they were Adrian Griffin. So I'm sticking with the Bucks.
Okay.
Yeah, people who voted here, who voted away from the Bucks, got to be skeptical of Doc Rivers. Just the way it is. He's giving up leads in the playoffs all the time. He was just asked about being up on the Celtics in last year's playoffs with the Philadelphia 76ers when he was up 3-2. Wasn't Doc's fault that they lost that game. I got to give him a little pat, just or a little bit of recognition that team didn't know what they were doing on the floor. Now the Celtics are different, and Drew being a guy that helps their defense the moment the other team starts their half court sets, it's going to be really, really interesting. I got to believe in the Bucks in that, yeah, they've turned around their defense since firing Adrian Griffin. They really have. And their record hasn't been incredible. They have had some bad losses before the All-Star game, that's for sure. So I don't think everybody's recognizing the Milwaukee Bucks, but their offense is going to be there when you've got 2 super duper stars. And everybody else, they're all buying in. So I take the Bucks, but yeah, to see the Cavs, Heat, it's got to be the Knicks for me for the other spot. I mean, they've had a good season. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt, but there's a bunch of injuries there. It's going to be a fun top of the East playoff run.
Thanks to everybody that voted in yesterday's polls. We'll have to run this back in a couple of weeks, but I really appreciate everybody chiming in there with all of their thoughts. Okay, before we go, let's get to Tweet of the Night.
Tweet of the Night. Wow.
Twitter.
TK, what do you got?
Yeah, this one comes to us from Knicks Muse, one of the million Muse accounts out there. Where's a No Dunks Muse account?
Oh.
Really makes you think. Anyways, need some more Clyde stat graphics at MSG Networks, they tweet. What's your favorite saying of his? And then it's got a list of Clyde Frazier's top 10 Clydeisms this season. Coming up at the top, Clydeism used 1.2 times per game, dishing and swishing. And then it goes on from there with all of these rhyming ones. But somehow see the ball, see your man sneaks in at number 2.
Yeah, not a rhyming one. You're right.
You got a favorite?
From this list,
yeah.
I love bounding and astounding at the bottom. That's one of my favorites. Stumbling and bumbling. I actually say that one a lot. Those are my 2 on this list, at least.
Slicing and dicing.
That's nice.
Great for the kitchen. Great for basketball, no doubt. Yeah. Shaking and baking. Also great for the kitchen. and good out there. Good stuff. That's good stuff.
He says a
He's the
lot.
best.
I saw in the comments. Precocious neophyte.
Oh, yeah.
He says that a lot about the young guys.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a great Clydism. Just 2 words you don't hear put together all that often.
If they made one of these for you, Skeets, what do you think would be the number 1 most used thing?
So what I say the most on the podcast, well, I mean, outside of intros type stuff, like outside of Embrace
of course,
the Day and Good Morning Sweet World. Bonkers, like something with bonkers.
That's nice.
I don't really have a rhyme for it, but I say bonkers. I feel like I brought bonkers back, if I'm being honest. I've been saying over the last 15 years. I feel like it's like gaining steam. I don't know. What about you guys?
I can't debonkers that. I think I've said it a lot as well over the years. I can't think of a good rhyme though for a basketball play.
Well, he said them all.
No, bonkers. Rhyming with a bonkers.
Yeah.
Man, there's
Well,
no words out
bonkers
there.
in Yonkers. He
Going
could say.
bonkers in Yonkers
Yeah.
would be nice.
He should say that.
Oh, they're going bonkers in Yonkers right now. That's not bad, actually.
What's your
Stinky. Stinky.
Okay.
I don't want to say the other S word. Not with my dad watching.
Okay. What about you on the show? What do you think's your most go-to? I guess
I guess.
maybe the people are chiming in here too. We should
Yeah,
check.
let's. I mean, I throw the word poop in there occasionally.
Yeah,
You do.
because Steve Kirby's watching.
That's right,
You don't-
man.
Yeah, I can't say the S word. No poop.
You do say poop a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, over the years, for
like
sure.
Poop.
Yeah.
There was that one day when you said snot a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was an awesome
Well, there was
day.
that week where you said it
You
back-to-back
were
shows.
going hard with the snot. That was a
Stop.
great week.
Couldn't stop. I got kids.
Allergy season, I guess.
It's allergy season. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. JD, you got one?
That I say? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe on Is This Good even?
I say stumbling and bubbling a lot, actually.
Stumbling and bumbling,
I'm
so
referring to myself. Like,
You were stumbling and bumbling in Indianapolis when you fell over
oh, yeah, I fell in my hotel room.
in your hotel room. Yeah.
That was a,
What'd
that
you?
was a
An
stumble.
ottoman. You fell over the ottoman.
Fell over an ottoman.
You weren't trying to hump that ottoman, were you? Like Pretty Ricky or whatever those guys' names were.
I wasn't. I swear. Yeah, it was early morning, but the sun was blazing in, and I closed the curtains.
Oh, yeah.
Turn around, room is pitch black, and that ottoman. In my defense, you even said
I did say I was in a dangerous position.
Dangerous position and blended in with the
Yes,
floor.
yes.
And goddamn, I just went. Oh, sorry, Steve Kirby. I fell. I just tripped right over it and fell like flat, like just completely flattened myself.
There wasn't a lot of room between the ottoman and the bed, though.
I was flat on the floor, so I
Wow,
guess
you
mine
found
was
the
maybe I had a
perfect
big room.
space.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe you had a big
Yeah,
room.
it was crazy. Yeah, Taz, sometimes it's getting back to these things.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you say on the Skyhawks broadcast, you say, "Why the heck not?" You throw in that like, "Why the heck not?" Like what? It's just the most Canadian thing you
That's
say,
Canadian.
and it's like it's just a joy when you do it. So try to squeeze a couple of those.
I was gonna say we should try and squeeze all these into our Skyhawks game.
Yeah.
Have a Clyde counter going.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Like we
bad
did
idea.
with Brent Berry. We gave him a challenge back in Summer League. Yeah, let's do that.
Great idea. Why the heck not?
All right, great tweet from Trey Kirby and from @NicksMuse and Clyde Frazier. What a national treasure. We'll call it there. There's 11 games on tonight. That's right. Chris Paul should be making his return for the Warriors. They're in D.C. taking on the Zards. We also have Mavs Cavs. There you go. That's a Clydeism.
The Mavs and Cavs.
Rockets Thunder, Sixers Celtics, whole lot of other games. We'll be back here at 10 a.m. Eastern to break them all down. So join us by hitting that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Leave us a 5-star rating and review if you listen to the pod. Appreciate it. Survivor returns tomorrow night, so go hit that link in the show notes. No Buffs, our Survivor podcast. Every Thursday we recap the previous night's episode. So if you want to get in, get in.
Sounds like a lot of people are going to be
You heard it
surviving
here
and
first.
subscribing.
Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Jesus.
I gotta get out of here. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It was an accident. It was an
What did you say again? I couldn't hear you over a
What
Clipper
did I
Pro.
say?
Sorry.
Surviving and subscribing.
That's good. Very good. All right. So please do that. Clipper Bros, are we going to see you and hear you again?
You heard it
There
here
we go.
first. Have a great time.
guy?
Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
I would love to hear his thoughts on the rebrand. They should have made it a jug of vodka.
Plop, plop, vodka. Popping and slopping.
And slopping. Thanks for joining us. And remember, we're in Indiana. We always talk about it. We don't often talk about our photo with Scottie Barnes. We all loved it. That was the only time I smiled in Indiana. This is being beside Scottie Barnes. Okay, I'm kidding. But the biggest smile, I think, was with Scottie Barnes. It's changed him. He's grown.
Smiling and styling.
Brace the day, people.